On today's episode of All Chiefed Up, the Chiefs are running out of options at wide receiver here in free agency. Is it DHop or bust? We're going to talk about all that and more. Stick around.
What's happening, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to All Chiefed Up. McCole Hardman has signed a one-year deal with the New York Jets to join Aaron Rodgers and try to rejuvenate that franchise over there. The wide receiver selection in free agency is dwindling fast, Mike. At this point, is it trade for DHop or bust for Brett Veach?
Yeah, I believe it's DHop or bust, Steve. I believe DHop is the best chance for us to continue this dynasty we have going forward. If we look at OBJ, that's cool too, but at the same time, you don't know how many games you're going to get out of OBJ for the money. DHop's got a few injuries, but DHop's nothing injury history related to OBJ. So I believe that's where we got to go. You already seen it took a week for McCole to sign somewhere. They already traded Elijah Moore, got him out of town. So there's an option off the table. Andy Reid doesn't like to play rookie wide receivers. So I like the fact that everybody's like, let's go get a rookie wide receiver in the first round. Okay, well, we took Sky Moore in the second last year. We were begging for him to get on the field at points. They just don't like to do it. So at this point, I don't know what options Patrick Mahomes has to throw to.
Yeah, signing Odell Beckham Jr. is an option, but that leaves us no reliability in a wide receiver room. If you go into a season with Odell Beckham Jr., Kadarius Toney, and the Ross brothers, how much do you think they're actually going to be on the field?
Exactly. The only one that looks like he could stay on the field consistently is going to be MVS and Sky Moore. And when you have MVS, that's not a guy that Patrick Mahomes looked all that comfortable with last year. He overthrew him. He underthrew him. He didn't even throw to him half the time. So he's not a great option. Sky Moore, again, is just learning. I don't think he was a perfect fit coming out of Western Michigan, as in to come in and learn this offense. I think it took him a little time. I just don't see in Sky Moore making that big of a leap forward in year two, although he could. I think he's got the potential, but you can't count on that. That's what we're trying to tell everybody. You cannot count on Justyn Ross. You can't count on John Ross. You can't count on MVS and these guys taking such a leap forward. You have to have a plan in place to help Patrick Mahomes.
And as you mentioned, a rookie is not the way to go with that because Andy Reid doesn't like to play rookie wide receivers. He never has in his entire career of coaching. So I don't know why anyone thinks that would change this year. Mike, what is going to keep this situation from ending up like Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? Is Patrick Mahomes eventually going to get slightly annoyed that he took a team-friendly deal so they could move money around and give him weapons, but they refused to do it?
Right. Chiefs fans keep overlooking this. It's great that Veach finds things on the cheap. It's great that we build roster on the cheap. It's great that we can cut players on a whim and bring in smaller guys on prove-it deals. But at some point, when does it become Patrick Mahomes saying, look, I took a team-friendly deal that you can move money around and you're not going and getting me any help. I can make anybody look good at wide receiver. Cool story, but maybe I don't want to be the superhero all the time. Maybe I'm going to have bad games. I'm going to have bad weeks. I may even have a bad month at some point in my career. I need pieces around me that can help bring me up and elevate my play too. And going out and always having to be the guy that has to make every throw perfect and everybody around him better is going to get old. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers. He done that for 5 or 6 years, and you see what happened. His entire career dwindled, and now he's out of Green Bay, all because he had Lazard and Randall Cobb and a bunch of rookies around him every year. Once they traded off Devontae Adams, they imploded. He had to have that one guy. We need that one guy that has to bring this receiving core together, that has to be the glue, that has to be the guy that Mahomes can rely on. And I get it. Travis Kelce is there, but Travis Kelce is an aging tight end. We still need somebody on the outside that can do that.
Man, you said something that really stuck out to me just now, and it's putting pieces around Patrick Mahomes that can elevate him. So what's funny about it is Patrick Mahomes is possibly the best player we've ever seen play football at the quarterback position, and he's never really had pieces around him aside from Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, which those are two huge pieces, don't get me wrong. But it's not like they've been throwing big-time money at receivers. What could this guy's potential be if he had a receiving core that was as good as, say, the Bengals were? What could he be?
Right. Well, you have Travis Kelce. That in of itself means Kelce could get 10, 15 targets a game if you don't double team this guy. Half the time he beats the double team and you can still throw to him. He's that good. Imagine pairing that up with one guy on the edge like DeAndre Hopkins that can get over the top, that can run every route in the book, and that can catch anything you throw within a 5-yard radius of him. That's going to make everything better. That's going to open up your run game. That's going to do lots of things for your football team. You can't always just start cheaping out on the cheap on every position, especially when it concerns the offense because Andy Reid relies on offense. We're not usually a great defensive team. We try to outscore teams. It looks like the tides are shifted here in Kansas City. I get it. They're trying to get more back to 50-50 ball. But at the same time, Andy Reid likes to throw it. He don't like to run it. You have to get people out there that can ease Patrick Mahomes a little bit. This guy is going to eventually get to a point to where he says, look, I understand I can throw guys open. I can make guys look better, but it's tiring, man. You've turned in my 8-year career. It's like I've been playing for 15 years. So at some point, you've got to help Patrick Mahomes. He sees stuff. He eyeballed the tweet the other day talking about could we possibly get OBJ and DeAndre Hopkins, the one that Des Bryant threw out. He sees it. So now what's he see? Well, they don't care. Brett Veach isn't finding me weapons to throw to. Why do I want to be here any longer? Not saying that's going to be the case, but if it comes to that, we're all playing into it by saying, hey, Brett Veach, go cheap. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes can make anybody look good.
Yeah, and another thing that I would like to point out, Patrick Mahomes naturally likes to throw contested balls. We all saw that when he came into the league. He's always throwing very risky passes. And then last season, the big story was Patrick Mahomes has got to stop forcing the ball and take what the defense is giving him, take his checkdowns. Well, that is kind of restraining Patrick Mahomes in a nutshell, because this guy just naturally wants to go downfield. He wants to throw that contested ball. He wants to make big plays. Why not give him a person that can make him confident that he can do that and play naturally and not have to always be second guessing throws and checking down and things like that? Because if he had DHop, if he does not throw those contested balls to DHop's coming back to the huddle to tell him, hey, throw me the damn ball and I will show you why you should be doing it.
Right. Well, we don't need DHop according to most Chief fans because we have Justyn Ross on the roster, guys. Justyn Ross was injury prone. He was good in Clemson, but he was injury prone. He's a guy that can go do contested catches. He's not overly speedy. He's not going to shake and bake corners at the next level. He's just not going to do it. This guy's not even seen the field for preseason yet. And you guys are putting our whole franchise on Justyn Ross. I get it. It's good to be positive. It's good to have some hype around a player, but you cannot go into a season giving Patrick Mahomes a fictional character that we've created in Justyn Ross that has not proven anything and say that it's great. Do I hope Justyn Ross has an amazing career? I really do. I hope he can do it. I hope he can pull it together. But just because this guy goes out and runs a hill yesterday, Steve, he broke Chiefs Twitter. He ran a hill, guys. Like, I could go run a hill. I may die doing it, but I can maybe get up the hill. And that's the thing. He's just running a hill. Like, it's every player in the draft can do that. They're all not going to be like Pro Bowl wide receivers.
Right. And obviously Brett Veach has a plan this whole time, because they could have easily signed back Juju and McCole for the deals that they took elsewhere, but he chose not to do that. So to me, that's very telling. I think he did have a plan and they weren't part of it. And that's why they ended up signing with somebody else and he's getting ready to move forward. Is it going to be the trade for DHop? A lot of Chiefs Kingdom certainly hope so. I kind of hope so, because I think it would be a killer move and it would give Patrick Mahomes that toy that he's been missing. And we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, DHop, they come out yesterday and said to get DHop, they want a second-round pick and something else of value. Hey, if they don't want Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if that doesn't seem of value to you, I'm fine giving up a second-round pick and one of our 2 fourth-rounders to get DHop in here for 3 years. I think that works. I think I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. And I don't want to sound doom and gloom and say, look, we're not trusting Veach. We trust Veach, but everybody in Chiefs Kingdom right now is getting a little antsy over this wide receiver position because we see these moves everywhere and all these potential moves we're talking about. Our options are dwindling. They're off the board. We don't want to end up with Nelson Aguilar, guys. Like, all we're trying to say is let's go get something done.
Yeah, and it could very well make a lot of sense that this move has taken some time. There are a lot of things contingent on it. Like you said, Mike, we can go trade a second round and a fourth round and get him, but he's due $12 million and $18 million. All that's got to be reworked out. And then what is DeAndre Hopkins willing to come down to as far as price goes? He said he would be flexible with a competitive team. How flexible is flexible? It really depends on our cap situation. So there's a lot going on there. So I wouldn't write it off as Brett Veach is not trying to make this happen, but you're going to have to be patient with it. It could come up soon. It could come up later. It could be after the draft for all we know.
Well, I totally understand that, but I do think it has to happen before the draft because the NFL team is a gimme now league. Somebody will go after them. Somebody will go get them, and they won't think twice about it. Dallas didn't want to wait around for OBJ to make a decision. They went and traded for Brandon Cooks. Nobody is messing around at this point. If somebody wants D-Hop, they'll overpay, and they'll go get him, and Brett Veach will be sitting there looking. So you can't always be cheap. You can't always try to take the cheap route. Sometimes you just got to go do it, and if you get burned a little bit in the short term, the Super Bowl ring makes up for it.
Obviously, everybody's talking about this DHop trade. Chat Sports made a video about it. Check that out. Get in our comments. And thanks for subscribing and hitting that bell.
There goes a sight from my soul.